everyone, thank you so much for believing in me. So we are learning how to make autogele in such a way that you can use lesser materials and at the same time you have a full pleated frame. Okay, that's the essence of this video. All right, so these are the materials we'll be needing to achieve this. I'm going to be using Ankara fabric for this. You can use any fabric of choice. You can use your ashoke, you can use satin, you can use any fabric of choice. So now we'll be needing our fabric. We need our wadding. We need about 1 yard or less, about 1 yard. Okay, then we need our lining that matches the fabric you're using, the color of the fabric you're using. So now we will need our measuring tape, our scissors, then a matching needle, matching thread and needle, then office pins. So now we're going to be cutting out our fabric or our materials using this dimension. So many of us here know how to make autogele, so we're going to be using this dimension to achieve this. Since I'm using Ankara fabric, so I wouldn't be cutting it in pieces just like we have our ashoke in pieces. This will not be in pieces, but you can also use the same method to make your autogele with your ashoke. So now for the base, autogele is divided into 3 parts: the base, the frame, and the handle, or into 2 parts depending on the method you normally use. So now this is for the base. This is the measurement for those who need it, since we are using a fabric that's not in pieces. So now for the base, this is the measurement I'm using: 20 inches by 24 inches. 20 inches by 24 inches. So this for the base. We all know how to make the base. We pleat this front. If you want to have multi pleats, maybe tiny and multi pleats, you may need to increase the length of your fabric. You can make it 30 inches or even more. It depends on how full you want your pleats to be. That's for the base. So you pleat like this, pleat the base like this. You also need a sewing machine. Sorry, I didn't mention that. In the sewing machine. So this is the base of our gele. So you sew, okay? So you pleat and make sure that the second one covers the thread. So you do that for your thread, for the base. So after pleating this, we'll move on to the frame. So since we already have a knowledge of how to make an autogele, I won't really be doing much on how to make the base. So now the main essence of the video is to make the frame full. So now for the frame, this is the measurement we'll be needing. So this is the measurement we'll be needing for the frame. I'm using 30 inches. So between 28 to 30 inches is okay. For the width, the width is 28 to 30 inches for the width. So I'm using 29 inches for this one. So you could use 28 or up to 30 inches. It depends. That's for the width. Then for the for the length I'm using is 45 inches. The way I calculated is using my ashoke. Let's say I'm using ashoke, and our is about 6 to 7 inches long, between 6 to 7 inches long. So if I'm using ashoke for the frame, for this kind of autogele that we want it full, since an aware is about 6 to 7 inches long, so you just calculate. Maybe you are using like 7 to 8 aware, should be able to make a very full pleat using this method if you are using ashoke. So multiply 6 by 7 pieces of the aware of the ashoke you're using. 6 times 7, that's 42. So let's say you are using 8. 6 times 8, that is 40 gele. So you sew, okay? So you pleat and make sure that the second one covers the thread. So you do that for your thread, for the base. So after pleating this, we'll move on to the frame. So since we already have a knowledge of how to make an autogele, I won't really be doing much on how to make the base. So now the main essence of the video is to make the frame full. So now for the frame, this is the measurement we'll be needing. So this is the measurement we'll be needing for the frame. I'm using 30 inches. So between 28 to 30 inches is okay. For the width, the width is 28 to 30 inches for the width. So I'm using 29 inches for this one, so you could use 28 or up to 30 inches, it depends. That's for the width. Then for the for the length I'm using is 45 inches. The way I calculated is using my ashoke. Let's say I'm using ashoke, and our is about 6 to 7 inches long, between 6 to 7 inches long. So if I'm using ashoke for the frame, for this kind of autogele that wants it full, since an hour is about 6 to 7 inches long, so you just calculate, maybe you are using like 7 to 8 hours, should be able to make a very full pleat using this method if you are using ashoke. So multiply 6 by 7 pieces of the of the ashoke you're using. 6 times 7, that's 42. So let's say you're using 8 layers of ashoke. That's 6 times 8, which is 48. But in essence, we are using this one. The measurement I'm using is 30 inches width, 29 inches width by 45 inches length. So I've cut out my fabric in that measurement. So now I'll be cutting out my lining. This is my lining using the same measurements with my Ankara fabric, the same 29 inches by 45 inches. Now for the wadding is going to be lesser in measurements. It's going to be lesser in measurements. I'm going to show you the measurements we'll be using and the reason why. Okay, so for the wadding, I reduce the width to 20 inches, 20 inches by the length 42 inches. Remember, the fabric is 45 inches. I'm using 42 inches for the wadding. The reason is because of that part, the part of the frame after we are through pleating. That part we are going to be using, or we are going to be joining with. That's after we are pleated. We're going to be joining with the base. I'll show you that part when we get there. So now, this is the arrangement. This is what we're going to be doing. The first thing is I have my fabric facing up, the right side of my fabric facing up. So I have my lining. I have my lining on top like this. I have my lining on top like this. So what I'll do is I'm going to be sewing this. I'll sew this together. I'll sew this together. After sewing it, I'm going to use it to turn my fabric this way. After sewing, I'm going to use the lining to turn my fabric this way. So I'm going to be sewing that part. Let me show you again. I'll be sewing this part together. I'll join them together. I'm also going to join the down parts together, just the front. This is the front part. This is the front part. Then the down part. This is the front part. I'll stitch together, and this is the down part. So I'm going to turn. I'm going to use the lining to turn the fabric out. So I'll show you that part once I'm done sewing. This is only the fabric and the lining. I'm doing this way. So we'll continue from there. So now look at what I did. I sew what I have. I sew this. This is the right side of the fabric in. I sew this like this. Then I did that. Look at my hand. This side. So I did that for the other end, this side and this side. So the next thing for me to do is to turn the lining in. That's the right side of the fabric. I bring it up, so I turn it in like this and I iron it out. That's what I have. So this is what I have. This is the sewn part. This is the sewn part. These are the open, this side and this side. This side and this side are the open parts. These sides and this side are the sewn side. So I'm going to be ironing it out so it will be neat. So I'm going to be ironing it out so it will be neat. So after doing that, I'll be fixing the wording in between the fabric and the lining. So if you like, you can actually do a stitch on top of it to put it in place or to secure it on both ends. So now we'll be putting our wording in between. Put our wording in between like this. In between like this. So make sure that the wording is in between. You have this excess on both ends. You fix it in like this. So I have my wording in between. So I'm going to be leaving this there. So remember our wording was 42 inches and our Ankara fabric was 45 inches. The excess or that part is that the allowance is to, so that when you pleat, you're pleating it like this. Pleating like this, it will be easier for you to tack this part of your frame to the base. So we're going to be running stitches on this, on this like this, so as to secure your your wording in between your materials. So run stitches like this. You may need to run up to 4, maybe 3 to 4 stitches. So if you're running stitches this way, run stitch like this. You can run another one like this, run another one like this, another one last part to secure your felt or your wording in between your fabric. Then you start pleating. So like I explained earlier, I ran the stitches on this, here again, then here and here. So just to secure my wording in between my fabric. So the next thing for us is to pleat our frame, just the same way we have been doing it, either with your bended knee or your door edge. So I'm going to be doing this and will show us the final result, and tack it to the base. So for the handle, the base will have an hand, the frame will also have an hand. I'm not using Velcro tape for this. So the measurement is, I have 2 pieces. The measurement I used is 7 inches by 14 inches. So I'm going to be folding it into 2 like this. I'll sew and also do this and sew. Before I sew, I'll cut a slant like this. So I'll form a slant like this. You can just measure 2 inches from here and form a slant. So I'm going to be sewing this like this. I'll be joining this one to the base. I'll also do the same and join this one to the frame for the time. We'll be showing all that when we are done with everything. Alright, so I have pleated my base. This is how I did this. So I also folded the edges in this way as well. You can also do this way, but this is the edges of my Ankara, so I'm not doing that for this one. Okay, so now for the hand, I sew like this, and I'm going to turn it out neatly. You can use your iron to iron out your edges so I can have a very good finishing. So what I did was I turned it this way. That's the wrong side of the fabric facing me. To have my undo, this is the way I did. After turning it, this is what I have. I turn it out, then I'm going to fold this in. Fold this in like this. So, and I stitch. I'm just going to stitch like this. So that is for the base. So I also do the same for the frame. For my own hand, this is the hand for my own frame. Is a little bit wider. It could actually be the same. It doesn't mean. Mine is wider. After stitching, that's like 7 inches. Then the length still remains the same. This is now 13 inches because I have stitched. So now the next thing for us is to pleat our frame. So I'm going to be showing you this method of pleating our frame. This is our frame. We want to start pleating. So remember I mentioned earlier that the wording is going to be shorter. I mean, the reason why I did so is at this other end where the pleat is going to end, the wording is at the tip. But here I made it shorter. The wording is somewhere here, so that when you are joining to your base, by the time you fold in like this and join to your base, it won't be difficult for you to sew it in. There are 2 ways to go about it. Some usually, they just sew the frame to the base directly before pleating. You can as well do your frame first before you join to your base. To your base. So now I am going to start pleating. So this other end, I did not run stitches here. I left it that way. But make sure you iron it out very well, because this is where it's going to end. This is where the pleat is going to end. So I don't want it to show my thread. So now I start pleating like this. My door edge. Start pleating. Would actually do something to pin it down. If you don't have a door edge, you can use your bended knee. You can use a bended knee just for you to form that curve. So you start pleating. So you notice as you are pleating, because of the wording, I'm using a soft wording, so my pleat may not be as thick as someone who uses the thick wording. So but at least it won't be as tiny as when you are using only your fabric. So you pleat, make like 3 pleats. Make like 3 pleats, then you start tacking. So notice that for every part, those parts that you joined, you make sure that the pleat covers it so that it doesn't show. So you start tacking from the middle like this. It's going to be a little bit difficult because of the wording in. So this tacking, this method is not going to be like the normal way we do our autogele. We just need to tack at just some points. You may not need to sew all through. So I'm going to pass the needle through here and tack, not too tight. Don't make it too tight. Just tack and pull the thread gently. Pull the thread gently. Just do it very well so that to secure your pleat. So after doing this, move to the next one. You can just tack again here. Just tack again somewhere here. You can see that I cut out the thread. Cut out the thread. This is for us just to secure it. You don't need to start running your needle and thread down all the way down. just tack. So we'll tack like this. Tack like this. You cut off the thread when you're done. Just cut it off. So you do the same maybe for just one at this point. Then you continue pleating. Continue pleating. Continue pleating like this. Take 2 or 3 pleats, and I pick one from the down part, and I stitch again. Any point, it doesn't have to be the same point you were doing before. You just pick like this and pleat and tack. Make sure you don't pull the thread too tight. So you can just end your tying like this anyhow you want to finish up your tacking. So we're going to be continuing this. We'll continue the same way. It's just in the same way. Just 2 or 3 pleats. You can see that it's forming that thickness here. See, after when you are there, it looks like the gele is tied and to be full. Mine may not be as very full as others, because I only used about 45 inches or 42 inches length. So if you want it more, you can actually extend or make a length. So you just keep tacking. You tack at this point, tack at this point, you pleat again, pleat again. Continue your pleats like that. Continue your pleats like that. See the way it's forming. Look at the way it's forming. You tack here, you tack here. Just continue like that. So I will show us the finishing part when I'm. If it doesn't form a curve, then you're not doing it right. It has to form this curve. So another way of tacking without you cutting off your needle at each point is what I want to show you before we finish up. So these are my pleats. So my pleats. So instead of cutting off here, you can just pass your needle through the one on top. Just move your needle to this point. Sure you're arranging your pleats. Very important, so it doesn't look rumpled. So you can pass it and then tack here again without cutting off your thread. So you arrange so just pass it through the first one, because if you say you want to pass it through 3, it will be very difficult. It will be very difficult. So just pass it through instead of cutting off. That's just the idea. Pass it through like this. Let it come out here. Like this. Then you continue. Finish up. Look at my frame. To finish up, this is what I'm going to do. I don't want the thread to show on the top. I want it to show on the top, so just pass the needle through like this, and under it like this. So if you look at it, the thread is not showing here. Thread is not showing here. You do the same like that all the way down. All the way down. I'm done with my frame. So I actually cut off this. The down part showed an SS, so I cut it off. No, we use the same measurement all through, that's why. So I'm going to add my undo now. I add my undo now. I'm actually not done totally, but I just want to show us this. I add my undo like this. So, and you tack like you're hemming a dress or hemming your trouser. Tack. I'm just going to use pin for the purpose of this video to hold it down. Just to hold it down. So I'm folding these edges in, so I'm going to tack that way. So this is our frame. You can see how full it is. So now to add to join to our base, it's still the same way, same method we'll be using. So just join to our base like this. Just get the midpoint and then place it like this. Let me show you. So you place it here. This is where the thread is. Just place it like this, and then tack with your needle and thread. I'm going to hold this down with pin for the purpose of this video. So I hold it down. It comes this way here towards the hair. So this part doesn't have wording. Remember, I told you the wording is going to be short. It's for us to be able to to be able to easily tack this to our base. That's why I reduced the size of the wording. So I tack here as well. We all know how to tack the same way we've been doing with our ashoke. Same way. So this is what I have, and we'll tie the base first. Tie the base first. Then we'll tie our frame. So we'll tie our frame. So this is what we have. This is what we have. Thank you so much for watching.